Boris slammed on BBC for cover recent Tories controversy party leaked in the middle of a pandemic. Boris Johnson has condemned the BBC's coverage of recent controversies regarding parties organised by senior government officials in late 2020. The Prime Minister thinks the public broadcaster should have focused its coverage on the latest news regarding COVID-19 and the necessity of a booster jab. According to the Mail on Sunday, Mr. Johnson considers it was the BBC's primary duty to inform the country on the ongoing vaccination rollout while Omicron is starting to rip. In a conversation with friends, the Prime Minister was reportedly furious and labelled the media coverage of the Christmas party's controversy as shamefully frivolous, vengeful and partisan. He said the BBC's exhaustive coverage of the party scandal had wasted too much public time and attention, as the government had just initiated new COVID restrictions to slow down infection rates. The so-called Partygate led the BBC bulletins, Radio 4's Today programme and Question Time. Still, one particular piece written by the outgoing political editor Laura Queensberg incensed Number 10 in recent weeks. A Downing Street source told Ms. Queensberg that there was a lot of concern inside the building about the PM. The BBC did not comment on Boris Johnson's reported accusations. Although he will have to face dissent among his own ranks next week as MPs are set to vote for new COVID restrictions, Mr. Johnson has vowed to stay on as Tory leader and fight the next general election. In an interview with The Sun on Sunday, Mr. Johnson said he would have to disappoint those who think his time has come. He said, "What nonsense. I can imagine there may be people who wish to see this. I don't know who. But I'm afraid I am going to have to disappoint them. I think the UK is the greatest place on earth, and being Prime Minister is probably the greatest job I could ever do. I also think that not only will this Christmas be better than last, but next year is going to be much, much better, and there's a huge amount to look forward to." However, one ex-minister seemed less hopeful, saying, "It's been a torrid week, and support is draining away. It's not terminal for Boris yet, but he needs to get a grip now, get some grown-ups into No 10 and make some big changes. But if nothing happens, things can only get worse." Another MP said, "Boris has another tough week ahead, littered with pitfalls and banana skins. If he reaches next weekend in one piece, he could make it to Christmas in time to regroup for the new year. If he has another bad one, all bets are off." In other news, Boris Johnson has condemned the BBC as shamefully frivolous, vengeful and partisan over its coverage of the Number 10 Partygate row. The embattled Prime Minister turned his fury on the corporation in the belief it has neglected its primary duty of publicising the need for booster jabs to combat the new Omicron variant of COVID. Mr. Johnson, who is facing a Commons revolt, a crunch by-election and rumours of a vote of no confidence in his leadership, angrily told friends that the BBC's exhaustive coverage of the party scandal has wasted too much public time and attention when it should be concentrating on urging the public to get their jabs now that Omicron is starting to rip. Ministers have been rattled by data which shows people who had 2 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine several months ago have almost no protection against the Omicron strain, but are encouraged that a booster jab takes the protection above 70%. The analysis by the UK Health Security Agency has triggered intense debate within the government about how the booster campaign can be accelerated in time to avoid fresh COVID restrictions. From tomorrow, 7.5 million people aged between 30 and 39 will be eligible to book a booster, taking the number who have been added to the online booking system over the past week to 10 million. In a separate move, ministers are expected to scrap the controversial traffic light system for travellers coming into the UK, meaning those arriving from red list countries will no longer have to quarantine in hotels for 10 days. The move, which is expected to be introduced in time to spare anyone from having to spend Christmas in a hotel room, comes in response to the speed at which the Omicron variant is spreading and the expectation that there will soon be limited differences in infection rates between countries.